I moved into the Willow Creek Estates thinking I was finally settling down. It wasn't a mansion community, just quiet homes, tidy lawns, and a homeowners association that promised peace and order. My place had a small driveway I loved. Finally, no more street parking nightmares. But within a month, I got my first letter from the HOA. Violation, unauthorized vehicle parking, $150 fine. I thought it was a mistake. The car was mine, the driveway was mine. I wasn't blocking anyone, so I called the HOA office. And that's when I met Glenda Carlson, HOA president, mid-60s, wears pearls to board meetings, and speaks with the tone of someone who believes she was born to be in charge of other people's lives. She told me the fine stood. According to a newly updated HOA rule, vehicles not listed on the HOA's official registry couldn't be parked overnight in any visible area, driveway included. I asked her when the rule passed. She smugly said, "At last month's closed-door session. It's in the revised bylaws." That was just the beginning. A few days later, I noticed a sticky note on my windshield that said, "Park in your garage or get towed." It wasn't even signed. Just intimidation. So I checked the HOA documents I was given when I moved in. Nothing about that rule. I emailed her again. No reply. Then the violations kept coming. Trash bins visible after pickup, $75. Grass over 3.5 inches, $50. Improper holiday lighting, $100. All within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, my neighbor across the street had his pickup parked diagonally on the lawn for days, without a single fine. I finally snapped when they tried to fine me $500 for failure to repaint mailbox in regulation color. It was beige, like every other mailbox on the block. So I did what any fed-up, detail-obsessed man would do. I started digging. I filed a public records request for the HOA's financial records. They stonewalled me for weeks, which by law they're not allowed to do. I kept pushing. Eventually, they slipped. A part-time HOA secretary accidentally emailed me last year's expense summary. It was chaos. Tens of thousands paid to a community improvement consultant. Turns out it was Glenda's niece. Another $18,000 for parking enforcement that no one had ever seen. Multiple cash withdrawals labeled outreach budget. No receipts, no proof. And then I found something weird. Legal fees, big ones, from a few years ago, paid quietly. I ran a search on Glenda Carlson. Turns out, back in another county, she was removed from a different HOA after she was caught embezzling funds and forging vote results. The records were sealed, but the local newspaper hadn't forgotten. I screenshotted everything. But I wasn't going to file a complaint just yet. I wanted to hit her where it hurt. Her reputation, her power, and her illusion of control. So I called the local news. I handed them everything. Fake fines, misused funds, her past scandal, and anonymous complaints I collected from neighbors. And then I hosted a community transparency barbecue in my driveway. Free food, music. I invited every neighbor. Glenda tried to shut it down, claimed I didn't get event approval. I smiled and handed her a flyer with the headline, "Did your fees pay for Glenda's family vacations?" A local reporter showed up with a camera crew. That night, the story hit their evening segment. HOA president accused of financial abuse. Residents demand change. The fallout was nuclear. An emergency HOA vote was forced within the week. Glenda was removed. The HOA was audited. That shady parking rule was repealed. My mailbox, still beige. Now I'm on the board, and the first thing I motioned for, no resident shall ever be fined for parking on their own damn property.